like, damn, slow down. I know you see a queen adjusting her crown. She been knocked down, but she never stayed down. She be living life like it's her playground. And they be like, damn, slow down. They can't catch us, she be moving too fast.
Oh my God, I had to make sure I wasn't on mute. What's up, y'all? Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Let me make sure y'all can hear me because I still have not bought a new microphone. My last microphone broke and I ain't bought a new one. Everything's high. Everything's high right now. I just have not gotten around to buying a new microphone, but I am showing my face. I'm showing my face today, y'all. Okay, y'all can hear me. I am on the screen. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. Hey, everyone coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cece, you said it. Please thumbs up this live. Please, 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 please. I am trying to get in the algorithm. I need y'all to like this live. I usually don't even get bothered with likes and stuff like that, but please like this live as you come in. If you are new, hey y'all, what's up? My name is Audrey. I do true crime commentary and but a little bit of trending topics as well. I do sometimes indulge into like court cases. So if you like those type of topics, please go ahead and subscribe to your girl's channel, join her membership for exclusive details to certain things. And if you guys are a returning person, what up though? Let me get into this chat. Hey CC, hey AK, hey King T, hey Miss Ray and Tracy. You guys are gonna be getting your packages. I just mailed them off today. I checked the tracking as soon as they scanned it. One is coming Friday and one is coming Saturday. I don't know which one is which, but Tracy and Miss Ray, y'all stuff is in transit to you guys. And I think you guys are going to love the book. I also got the book for my sister and she is just in love with it. She was on Facebook talking about it and saying like how much it really makes you do your homework. So just aside from me telling you guys how much I love the book, my sister, she got the recommendation from me. She loves the book as well. So I'm so excited for you guys to get your books as the winners, you guys. So yes, back into it. Hey, Miss Brader's Life. Hey, Ty. Hey, Dovely. Shout out to Dovely. This was a recommended video from her. She comes through. She gives me topics all the time. And if you guys have any other stories y'all want me to cover, please shoot me a DM or email. I try to cover them if they make sense. Some of them I do skip right on by because it be some mess attached, but I'm trying to ship through some of that stuff while keeping my energy protected. So, hey, Nicole. Hey, Ronnie. You guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So, like I told you guys, this was actually recommended by Dovely to talk about. And if you guys did not know, the way it works on my channel is I'm going to give you guys the story first, and then I'm going to talk about my perception at the end. So how I feel about the case, how I feel about the situation, my thoughts, all things at the end. Okay. So jumping right into today's video, we are going to be talking about a family of 4 from North Carolina that basically suffer from a very weird, strange, eerie tragedy that the police officials are calling a murder-suicide. So we're going to go down all the details and you guys can form your opinions after that to see how you guys feel. This case, I would say it's trending, but it's kind of not trending at the same time. It's one of those things where a lot of people feel a certain way, and then a lot of people feel the opposite kind of way. But once the police makes rulings like this, it's kind of nothing that we can do besides speculate. So I will get into it. Oh, thank you so much, KB. KB said she usually is in the bushes because she's usually working while I'm on. But thank you for covering stories that you don't hear anywhere else. You are more than welcome. I really do try to cover stories that a lot of people don't talk about. So you are more than welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So as you guys see on my screen, you guys see photos of a beautiful young woman. Her name is Aston Brown. She is 26 years old. She was actually a teacher, an early childhood teacher, and she was a mother of two. She had two babies, a 4-year-old daughter and a 8-month-old son. She shared these children with the man that is on the screen. His name is Aschod Ewing-Meeks. He is also 26 years old. Now, his profession is unknown. I did actually try to do a lot of digging on him and I could not find a lot of information. Now, Ashton, which is the woman, she appeared to have a great personality. When I went through her Facebook page and I went through her other social medias, a lot of people are remembering her and calling her just a ball of light. They said that she was very kind. One girl even said that she just randomly DM'd her, like, hey, girl, we have the same exact name, Aston Brown. And they built this type of organic friendship. They lived nowhere near each other, but she just seen her on social media for having the same exact name. And they really built this relationship where they even told each other that they love each other. So Ashton was a very kind, nurturing person. Like I told you guys, she was an early childhood teacher. Those type of people are saints, in my opinion. You have to be a special type of person to work with little children, to remain cool, calm, collected, teach. I love early childhood teaching. Now, she also played sports. She played softball. She was really good at it. She was actually well known in her town of North Carolina for her great sportsmanship, being able to play sports. Now, like I told you guys, Aschod, I cannot really find a lot of information on him at all. All that I know is that he is also 26. Aschod and Ashton seem to have been together for over 5 years. I'm not sure if they were high school sweethearts or if they started dating immediately after high school, but their oldest child is 4 that they share together, and their youngest is 8 months. They just had this baby late 2021. Very beautiful couple. So the day after Easter, y'all know to this year, Easter was April 17th. April 18th was a very weird day for this couple or this family, shall I say. And it starts off in the middle of the afternoon around noon. And I'm going to go over the timeline with you guys. I have it listed out so we can go over it together and you guys can follow. So this is just a bigger picture of them on the screen right here. Beautiful children, beautiful couple all together. But around noon at 12:11 p.m., for a little under 5 minutes, they are seen walking into the local sheriff's office, and Aschod, which is the father, was asking the receptionist to speak to an officer. He immediately walked in and said, do you guys have anyone in the office today? The main reason being because it was the day after a holiday. Y'all know how that goes. When the receptionist was trying to ask questions and get more details on exactly what they needed, Aschod was very meek. As you guys see in the picture, Ashton was kind of far away, and I wanted to point this out in this screen grab, but she was kind of distance away because it appears, in my opinion, that she was allowing him to speak as if he was the one that had maybe a problem or a concern. It does not appear that it was joint. Now, 2 minutes in, she does walk up next to the counter with him, and the receptionist is just advising Aschod that he would need to call a dedicated number to talk to someone because they don't have anyone that he can just readily speak to. And then he also was not giving her enough information to really work off of. Now, before he left, mind you, this was only a 4-minute interaction. Before he left with the number, he did ask a question about how to go about getting licensing for a conceal and carry. So to basically learn how to be able to use or carry a firearm with him on his body. So she gave him a little bit of that information as well, and then they left. Now, immediately after that, around 12:35, this is where there was a series of calls that took place that a lot of people are calling out. So aside from them all going in together to talk about speaking to an officer, they get this dedicated number. So at 12:35, Ashton, which is the mother, so the girlfriend, she actually calls a dedicated line, and she is heard in the recording saying that she wants to talk to someone about safety concerns. And she was going to pass the phone to Aschod, but the call disconnected. From there was a series of calls between 12:47 and 12:54 that afternoon where the officer was calling numerous times and he spoke to Aschod. So after speaking to Ashton, who initially made the phone calls started to be answered by Aschod. Now, there was literally 22-second calls, 35-second calls. There was one call that was 6 minutes long. And in that 6 minute long conversation, Aschod was telling the officer that he was feeling like he was being followed, that someone was following him. He said that he wasn't necessarily scared per se, but that he was being followed. The calls continuously got dropped. After that a little bit over 6 minute phone call, the phone call dropped. The officer then continues to call Aschod or Ashton, because it's Ashton's phone, continues to call this phone for 2 minutes. At this point, it's already 1 o'clock. He's calling and the phone is going to voicemail. So he's kind of worried. Now, they on the phone, when the officer was speaking to Ashton, the officer asked her where they lived, and she actually gave her mother's address. She did not give the full address. She just gave the proximity, which they later traced back to. That is nowhere near where they lived, but actually where Ashton's mother lived. They did not want to really give a lot of information. The only thing that they told them was that basically they just needed to speak to an officer and that they wasn't feeling safe. Now, fast forward, I do have the rest of the timeline. They eventually get home, not to the house that they told the officer, but they actually get to their actual home that they had lived in for over 2 years with no issue, you guys. And around 2 o'clock, so fast forward, the last time that anyone spoken to them on record was the officer, and that was right before 1 o'clock. Fast forward to 2 o'clock, a local witness says that they see Ashton and Aschod outside of their home arguing, or what appears to be an argument. The witness stayed outside to watch this until Ashton and Aschod went inside of their home. After that, the witness did go on about their day. Now, around 2:14, a person is driving by and they see smoke coming from the house. Instead of calling the police, they actually drove less than 5 minutes away to the actual fire station to report what they think may have been a fire or just smoke coming from the house. They really did not know what was going on. The fire station immediately pulled up at 2:15 to Ashton and Aschod's home. Mind you, they thought that they were going to be treating a fire, but when they went inside, they actually unfortunately seen all 4 family members gone from GSWs. Now, it is not said how they were, how the firearm hit them. I am not sure, but that is how they all perished. And after the GSWs, the house was set on fire. Once the police and detectives came, they was able to immediately backtrace that, I think this is the couple that we saw earlier. I think this is the couple that we actually been talking to with these weird interactions. So once the preliminary autopsy report was issued on April 21st, they did actually basically state that the cause of death was a murder unalivement. So basically they're saying that Aschod, which is the father, took the lives of Ashton and their 2 children, set the house on fire, and then unalived himself. And they say that allegedly they know it was him because he was found with the gun still in his hand. There is no official rulings yet. This was all preliminary. To get the official autopsy report, that is going to take a little bit of while because, of course, it goes in order. But the family does have a GoFundMe out. The family has spoke out, or Ashton's family, shall I say, sister actually spoke out and just asked for, grace and privacy during this time. A lot of people have, extended their condolences and said how much they love Ashton. But I was not unfortunately able to find much on Aschod to even get a sense of who he was as a person. Now, when I originally got this story this morning, when I was watching it, or not watching it, I watched the news clips, I read the news reports. I immediately had a lot of questions, and I am going to allow you guys to call in if you guys know about this story or if you don't. But I immediately had a lot of questions because a lot of things stood out to me. Now, one theory is that Aschod suffered some type of mental break and was suffering from paranoia, and that is really what took the life of him and his entire family. Some people are saying that this must be a domestic violence issue where this has been going on for a long period of time. And then again, some people are just like, are we sure he wasn't set up? And I'm not one to typically indulge into the side of setups. I know that it is dealing with these type of cases, it is very sensitive. I want to be respectful to the family, but some things just don't add up. And I'm going to immediately start with when they went to the sheriff's office. If they went to the sheriff's office together, and this was some sort of DV situation, what exactly was he supposed to tell the officer? Like, hey, officer, I hurt my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the initial red flag. It seemed to me, based off of the body, based off of the footage, like I listed to you guys, I showed you guys, based off of this picture, the body language to me suggests that Aschod, which is the father, really did have an issue. And it appeared to me, from what I'm able to see, this is just my opinion, that she was allowing him to speak because it was not a them problem. It was more so a him problem that maybe he had encountered. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he had gotten into a fight, maybe he was in some situations, and she wanted him to go and speak to an officer to figure out what to do. Now, like I told you guys, Ashton is educated and she is an educator. So, with that being said, I'm not saying that she is above being in DV situations, but it appears if she was in a situation where she was being mistreated, she is someone that would have wanted to keep that private since this was also new to everyone. The officer said that when they lived in this house for 2 years, the police was never called, ever. They never had any domestic violence disputes. There is no records of this, no history, no nothing. So if she was suffering from or being a victim of DV, it seems like she would want to do that in private, which means she would never go hand in hand with the abuser to the police station because that would blow her image, right? So that is just the way that that's what I was gathering. So I did not get the vibes that they were going there for any issues with them. My next question was when she called the officer on the phone to speak to someone, she said it was for safety concerns and that I want you to speak to Ashton. If she is being hurt or if she is in an unsafe environment, why would she want you to speak to the abuser? It makes no sense. Ty, this happened in it's near Coolamy. Let me get the exact location. Davie County. It's in Davie County. So once she gave him the phone, in my opinion, based off the body language in the first photo, in the video for when they went inside the sheriff's office, and the fact that Ashton called, in my opinion, it appears that she is the one that's trying to push to make sure that he is telling them something. He is supposed to be getting help. Like, she, in my opinion, is being a advocate for him. Like, she is trying to help him get help in some way because there's something that's not safe. And it doesn't appear like he's not safe for himself because we know you can call the psych line for that. You would not call an actual police officer for safety concerns for yourself. So when she was doing that, I feel like she was pressuring him to say something like, You need to tell them what's going on. That's just how I see it. Can I prove this? No. But when the witness said that they seen them appearing to be arguing outside, an argument is subjective, right? I could be talking to my husband in a very combative way, but that's not an argument per se, but to someone else, it could appear that way. It could appear that we are arguing. Meanwhile, we're talking about French toast and dinner, you know? So seeing that they had just got the phone, he continuously hung up on the officer or the phone got disconnected. They're finally arrived back at home. She could most likely be like, babe, I'm really worried. You need to tell them what's going on. You told them you was being followed, but we need someone out here. And also the fact that she did not give the officer her address kind of suggests that maybe they weren't going to be staying at home. Maybe they didn't want whoever was following them to know that they contacted the police. So they gave a different address. So whoever's watching them won't know that they called the police. That is the route that I'm going. And then the final thing that really disturbed me or kind of puzzled me, because y'all know I'm a true crime junkie, was the manner of the death. If he unalived himself with a firearm, and I'm assuming he did it to his head, how would the firearm still be in his hands after he does that? Usually it falls off. Usually it's, once you fall, your limbs go limp. So how was it still in his hands? And if he did set the house on fire, how fast was this man moving? Another thing that stood out was the fact that the neighbors said they never heard shots. They never heard shots. So you mean to tell me y'all seen arguing, y'all heard and seen arguing, y'all seen smoke, but y'all did not hear shots? Y'all did not see shots. Y'all did not hear shots. I'm thoroughly confused. And I did think it was weird that the person that saw the smoke drove to the fire station. Now, I did take it upon myself to um Google Maps the distance because I just wanted to know why they didn't call. Usually, that when you call the police to report something, they tell you to stay on the phone and to watch. So, with them driving to the fire station, it was new to me. However, I did Google search it, and it's approximately 3 to 4 minutes away from where they live. They lived in the 1900 block of, let me pull back up my Google search. They lived in the 1900 block of Junction Road. And where the witness drove to was the volunteer fire department in Oakley, or what's it called? Coolamy. So it was literally 3 to 4 minutes away. So I was like, okay, maybe I can understand that, but then again, maybe not. With this, I do agree with a lot of people's sentiments of the fact that this does not make sense, and it's really weird that they would immediately rule this a murder unalivement due to a domestic violence dispute, seeing that the evidence of their timeline of events does not suggest that that was supposed to happen today. It appears that they was definitely supposed to just be getting help for something. And I hope that they actually investigate this something, because that something could lead them to maybe what really happened to this family. Now, Ashton's sister actually did make a Facebook status, and I'm going to read it for you guys. I'm not going to release her name or anything because she did ask for privacy, but she definitely said 4 days ago. So after the ruling, or after the preliminary autopsy was ruled and the sheriff did actually speak about this timeline of events, she said, I am making this post on behalf of myself, Ashton's sister, and the rest of our family. Stop running to Ashton's Facebook page, posting and sharing the story, the news release, and twisting and adding your 2 cents when you have no idea what happened. If you don't have a good memory, pictures, prayers, do not post it. Oh, and if one more person message any of us one more time asking us what happened, I'ma cuss y'all out. That is the most disrespectful thing to do. Again, stop sharing the news clippings and commenting on things you clearly have no idea about. If you don't have anything good to share on her page, then don't say anything at all. So, with the sister basically saying, like, y'all sharing these news clips and twisting the story, I'm like, well, what's really the story in my head? I get that she wants privacy, but is this a domestic violence dispute? Did he really do this to the whole family? Or is there literally someone out there that really targeted this family and he's being blamed? Now, I'm going to tell y'all one final rabbit hole I went down before I released the call in lines for you guys to speak your opinion. There is an alleged story that Aschod, which is the father, actually was an informant for the police, and that somehow it got out and that he was found out. That is another alleged story that I cannot prove. Don't know how it got started. It could just be another internet myth, fake story, no real news. But this town that they lived in did not have a high crime rate. I looked it up. It's actually a very quiet town, very small town. Everybody appears to know each other. And I think that is what motivated the police to immediately rule a cause or an answer, because this just does not happen where they live. Hence why the witness was able to drive to the local fire station and tell them what they saw versus call. It just seems like it's a very close-knit town. So with that being said, when things like this happen, you don't want any loose ties that could make the town scared to leave their house. But I just hope that they didn't do a disservice and rule this man this type of monster if he really did not do anything. Again, it's the firearm still being in the hand for me, all while he had time to start a fire. But they went to the police station earlier that day for an officer, and he was asking for information on how to get a concealed carry. It's really bizarre. It is a really eerie case, but I'm going to continue to follow it. If they rule that this was actually a DV issue, of course I'll follow back up. But I just don't feel in my heart that this was something that was actually DV. I feel like it's more to this story, and I pray that the police officers did not fail them to the point where they missed all the signs, and then instead of taking accountability, they blame it on Aschod. That's just my thoughts and my opinions. I was asked to cover this story, give details that y'all probably have not heard. So that is all the details that I have. Now, I have actually released the link for you guys to call in. I want you guys to call in if you knew about this story. If you guys did not, what are y'all thoughts based off of the little information that y'all do have? What are y'all thoughts? Again, for the life of me, I'm going to continue to look up information on Aschod to see anything, but I don't even know where that man used to work. No one is talking about him, and that's not uncommon in these type of situations when you are the aggressor or you are the person that took the lives. Why would someone be making good statuses about you if you're the monster? So that could be it, but I am one of those people that is immediately calling BS. It does not make sense. And if this is something that is going around in their town, they need to take this seriously, because labeling this murder, unalivement, just is not going to go away with the real issue. Especially, you guys, 2 babies lost their lives, and I purposely did not say their names, just out of respect. I really tried my hardest not to even have pictures of them, but those was the main pictures that I was able to find. But I want to hear your thoughts below. If you guys are a replay gang and watching this, let me know, have y'all heard about this story? Let me get into these comments to see exactly what y'all have to say now that I'm done talking. Hold on, because I don't want to. Oh, hey to everybody coming in. I'm so sorry. I usually say hi at the very beginning, but I cannot while I'm talking, y'all. I'll be forgetting my train of thought. So, hey to everybody that came in while I was talking. Ty said, "Why did they go to the police station? I wonder, and then commence to take the family's life." Yeah, it's like, so what was the purpose of going to the police station? But that does go back to them saying that they think that he suffered from a mental break of being paranoid. Maybe, maybe he never was being followed. Maybe no one was ever hurting him, or and he was never in danger, but he was telling Ashton this. So Ashton, being, his woman, his, the love of his life, she's wanting to make sure that she does her part. So that was another, explanation to it. But even if he was suffering paranoia and all of this, why would he take the life of his family and kids? Let's see what else. Yes, something was definitely off about the constant phone calls. There was about 5 phone calls, you guys, and the longest one, like I said, was about 6 minutes and 22 seconds, and that was when the man at Aschod actually said that, he felt like he was being followed, but he wasn't really in danger. The thing that I thought was really weird was in the press conference, they did not continue to go on about what was said during that 6-minute phone call, because literally me saying, "Yeah, well, I feel like I'm being followed," does not take 6 minutes. So what else was said? What was the probing questions that the officer asked the shot to get him to say that little piece? I thought that was very strange that he didn't give us the rest of that phone call information. And then he also did not release that clip. There is a clip where we can hear Ashton calling the police station and asking to speak to an officer, but we never actually heard the phone call between Aschod and the officer for those 6 minutes. So that again was kind of a red flag for me. We actually have a caller. Hey, Trey.
Hey,
How
I'm
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I was going to say that I've listened to a lot of true crime podcasts, and so when things happen in small towns, it's not unlikely that the people in the town know exactly what happened. I feel like they're like, they didn't release any of the tapes because if they did call, like, why not release that so that everybody can hear what was going on there? And then, like you said, it was other phone calls, and it's like, okay, well, who was calling them? Like, what is the number? Like, you know what I mean? It's so many loose ends, and I feel like it's somebody in the town that maybe they did not know they had a problem with, or it was somebody they knew they had a problem with but just didn't like let their family know. I'm thinking like a coworker, a neighbor, or something like that. It doesn't make sense.
Especially the neighbor's not hearing gunshots. How you didn't hear four? You didn't smell fire. Y'all didn't hear nothing, but they were home. They did say that they heard them arguing, but they did not hear gunshots and they did not see the fire. But the random person that drove by drove to the fire station instead of calling. I'm sorry, I would have called. That's just me.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
not driving to, even if I like where I used to live, there were two fire stations that were like they were on a main road. So of course like everybody knew where they were. But I'm not driving to the fire department to tell them like, hey, something's going on. I'm gonna call because that's gonna be the quickest thing to do. Nobody thinks to be like, oh, let me just go there and tell them what happened. Like
yeah.
you went there, told them, but didn't even direct them to where the smoke was that you saw.
No, and it was really weird. And now they did immediately show up, but it's like, when you've gotten results faster if you called, it was really weird. And but he said, the sheriff did make a statement. He was like, "Yeah, there's no phone call for the fire because the person drove to the fire station." And I was like, we didn't even ask for a phone call for the fire. I low key want the phone call, the 6-minute phone call, not the fire phone call. So it was really like, I don't know if he was trying to be trying to shut us up so we won't ask questions, but it kind of made me ask more questions.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, him even saying that, it's like, you kind of offering up information that wasn't needed. If you knew that there wasn't a phone call to the fire department, why even mention it? Like, that's not helping the case. That's just giving us more like question marks as far as like what happened to them.
And the only two pieces of evidence that they would give over was the video of them going inside the sheriff's office and the phone call that Ashton initially made first. We never got to hear Aschod on the phone with this detective at all. And if
Did
you
they
have, you should have them
did they say who the detective was, or they didn't release that information?
release the name of the detective either.
Mm.
Nope. It's a really strange case. I would say it's up there because if this is some type of I suffered a mental break and I did this, that's one thing. But to immediately rule this and then say that the firearm was still in his hand, I've never heard of nothing like that. I've never. How would it still be in his hand if he fell to his death after he unalived himself?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not the same story. I listened to this podcast called Up and Vanished, and the first season, this girl just like she just vanished. Nobody knew where she was, but everybody at the end of it knew exactly what had happened to her, but nobody said anything. And so that's why I'm like, it's feeling like the same thing. Like somebody in that town knows exactly what happened. They were there, they saw something, but because of maybe it's like somebody that knows the sheriff or the mayor or somebody like that. They're just not saying what happened because it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. At all. No. So CC, they did not say exactly what part of the body the people were shot at. But I will tell you guys that another thing that stood out to me was if you guys do watch true crime, usually when parents unalive their children, they do it in a certain manner. So it's either like in the car, they drug them, they give them baths, they take
They
beds.
normally don't shoot them.
Yes, and if they do, it would be while they're asleep. Now,
Yeah,
baby was unalived in the doorway of the bedroom, which was like, hmm? I was like, what type of parent could do that? Mind you, what type of parent would do it at all? But
exactly.
I'm used to hearing a certain type of pattern in these type of cases. This one was really weird. He was unalived in the kitchen. One baby was unalived in the doorway, and I'm not sure where Ashton and the other child was unalived. Somewhere in the house, but they were all sporadic. They were not all in the same place.
Okay, this is my last question. I came in a little later in the video, but has his family said anything?
Nope. No. Not that I can find. I can't find anything on him. I don't even, all I have is his age. I tried to look up the jail records to see if there was any like previous history. I don't know his birthday. And her
Oh
family
wow.
doesn't say anything either, but no one's talking about Aschod at all. And his family is not either.
Mm,
It's really weird. It's like, I get it. Some people are not going to talk about it because he's the monster, but usually you could find something on these people like, well, let me tell you about this man. He's been like this, blah, 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 blah. No.
now that makes me think like, was he close to his family? Was there a falling out? Because even in the last story, you said like the one brother that was like well known or whatever, even he said something about his brother, even though his brother has a whole situation. This just doesn't, something's not right.
A lot of things is not right with this story, but it's unfortunate. And I don't want to overshadow that, 4 people did lose their life, but it does seem like a small town cover up or negligence. It appears to me to be that.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure though.
that's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm going to get back in the chat and if someone else wants to come up,
Yes.
don't be scared, y'all.
Yeah, don't be scared. Bye, Trey.
Bye.
Cece said normally with a town so close knit, they would have known it was family that lived there and tried to get it in on their own. Exactly. That was another thing. Like if it appeared to be a fire, you driving away from the fire wouldn't necessarily help versus trying to put out the fire, get people to, bang on other people's doors like, hey, it's a fire. I don't know. Like in 2022, certain things just don't make sense. And it's because it's the year 2022, not 1990. So it's things that make you go, After the first, second hang up, I'll probably be like, let's meet up so we can write a report for you or speak to you in person. Yeah. So allegedly the officer did try to get them to come back, but allegedly Aschod said no. And then the address, they never gave the exact address. They only gave the vicinity of where they lived. And it actually was never where they lived. It was actually where Ashton's mother lived. So it's really weird. Like, are you guys scared for your safety? For real, for real? Why are you, whatever Aschod told Ashton really made her motivated to get the help from the police, but she was also still reserved in a sense of, I'm not going to tell you where I live, come to this other address. So there is a big piece of this that is missing. Jamila says, someone said maybe he was schizophrenic and just thought someone was after him. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, he suffered like a mental break. All this was like paranoia, and that, he became so paranoid that he did this to his family, thinking it was someone that was after him, and it really wasn't. But does he have a history of this? Like, has he been untreated? Like, you just don't wake up schizophrenic, in my opinion. I'm not sure. But did he have signs that showed that? Because it's two different things to be like, you're hallucinating, you're imagining this, versus the whole family packing up the car and going to the police station. I wonder if they were able to look through their phones. Yeah. And they did not. They were very particular in the press conference. I wish I could show you guys it, but until I can figure out what's going on with my channel, I've been getting some copyright strikes for showing news reports. So I can't really show news reports until I figure out why I'm being attacked. So I will actually link the press conference and the news reports that I was able to find below. Yeah, I know I usually like to show them to y'all while we watch together, but I can't really do that until I figure out the stance of my channel. So I don't have any other callers. I am going to wrap this story up here. I do have some other stories that people want me to cover, so I will be back with those maybe tomorrow. Cross fingers. But I appreciate you guys for rocking with me this live. Please do not forget to like this live on your way out. And my inbox and email is always open if you guys want me to cover certain stories or talk about them. I want y'all to have a good night. Stay safe.
And thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Ms. Marcel. Yo, all props to you. And just be you doing what you doing. And you got a voice. Keep doing what you doing. And you got a voice.